guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you may on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of In Case of Emergency, Luke's Path. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? The last time we left off, we had just been investigating a murder in a nearby town, and I'm quite looking forward to where this investigation is going. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and sit right back for the next 18 minutes. Let me entertain you. Let's jump right in. Alarm 10, you are up, and let's go. Alright.
It's certainly possible. After all this time, maybe his body finally gave out.
Dinner last night.
Well, your family's close, she laughs politely. Don't let the rumors fool you. Our families may operate rival merchant companies, yes, but we never harbored ill will towards each other. I thought him absolutely mad at times, but he was a shrewd businessman. Through and through.
I heard you went out for dinner last night. I heard you went over to dinner that night, before Lord Basia was found unconscious.
Ooh, excuse me. Indeed, I have nothing to hide. It was an ordinary dinner like any other. The Lord had a habit of drinking hemlock wine, you see, whenever he had guests over. He believed it provided his bloodline superior constitution.
And he drank that wine last night?
Yes. I always believed he was bluffing. That's what our dear Alizarin told us anyway. She was closest to the family out of all of us. Well, perhaps he was serious that night, or perhaps his hubris finally caught up to him.
She blinks her eyes rapidly, trying to give the appearance of holding back tears. She might be faking her sorrow, but you have no reason to think that she's lying. Yet. Thank you for your time, Lady Remus. You've given us some new leads. You stand up to take your leave. By the way, you guys have a library or anywhere I can look for rare books? Oh yeah. Les grabbed him by the scruff and drags him out, and the four of you decide that you have some more questions for the Basia family. Basia? Is it Basia? I'm not sure.
I'll say Basia.
As you make your way to the Basia home, you can't help but wonder out loud, if Lord Basia really did drink hemlock wine regularly, is it possible he just got unlucky that night? It sounds familiar. I think he might have had some when I was over. How do you know the Basias? Les and I came down here a couple of years ago. We helped out the family by clearing out their crypt, and they invited us to dinner. You're a little jealous. You wouldn't mind running errands in this city without an ominous countdown to the apocalypse hanging over your head. Just another thing you've arrived a little too late for. In the foyer, Skye is still pacing along the rug, rubbing its fibers thin against the marble. He monologues to a ficus in a clay pot.
I did not know my father well.
No, I shouldn't say that. He looks up from scratching something out on his paper.
I assume you're back with a culprit.
Lady Remus told us that your dad drank hemlock wine that evening. Skye sighs, pausing his pacing.
My father drank hemlock wine nearly every night. He believed his Basia blood would make him immune, whatever that means. He couldn't pay me to drink that poison.
Why didn't you tell us this earlier?
Like I said, he drinks this wine nearly every night, and he's fine. He has exactly 1 glass a night. If I thought it was important, I would have mentioned it.
There's nothing different that night? He didn't do anything different that night? Lady Remus said that she thought your father was bluffing. Maybe someone gave him some real hemlock that night instead of the fake stuff. Skye narrows his eyes.
Are you calling my father a liar?
We would never. Do you still have any of that wine lying around?
No. We threw it out after serving it.
Can we look in your kitchen? Can we check your kitchen? Maybe there's something else that poisoned him. Skye crosses his arms and puffs his chest out, trying to look as imposing as possible. He takes a step towards the doorway leading to the eastern wing of the house.
Absolutely not. I forbid it. I won't be a suspect in my own home.
Of course not. We believe you. We're trying to clear the air so no one gets the wrong idea. Right now you're full of wrong ideas, one of which involves breaking and entering. I just remembered that I was supposed to check in with Remus an hour ago. I have to go.
We'll go with you.
No! I mean, it's okay. You guys stay here and clear the air. No one needs to go to the kitchen. I'll be right back. You dart out the front door before anyone can stop you. Wasn't suspicious at all. Once you're sure you're out of earshot, you round the corner of the house to its eastern face. You have to step on the very tips of your toes to get a good look in the window of the house. You can make out the fuzzy outline of the back of Skye's head. Next window. You creep over to the next window, placing your hands on the windowsill and pulling yourself up to peer inside. Pots, plates, and dried herbs dangle from the walls. Jackpot. Hi! I'd like to report a suspicious male figure trying to break into the first floor window of a home. Yes, he's not very tall and looks like he's never trespassed in his life. Ha ha, funny Luke. You hop down from the sill in alarm. What are you doing here? Luke quirks an eyebrow in your direction, clearly trying to hold back an amused laugh. Calling the guards on you, just like every other person within 100 feet of this home. Whip your head towards the street. Relax, no one's noticed you, yet. Luke ignores you and traces a shape through the air with his finger, muttering something under his breath. Then without warning, he disappears. Hello? Shh, I'm right here. Luke's voice comes from directly in front of you. Are you invisible? Silence. Oh, sorry, forgot, I'm invisible. I just pointed at you like, if you think that's cool, you should check yourself out. You look down at your hands, except your hands aren't there. Your body's not there either. Small indentations in the grass where your weight bears down. Whoa! Now, come on, help me up to unlock this window. You nod and get to your knee, making a step with your interlocked fingers. Okay, get on. You hear the grass rustle, then something kicks you in the ribs, hard. Ow! Shit, sorry, I couldn't see you. You let out a wheeze that's somewhere between pain and amusement. I think there's a flaw in your plan, genius. There's a long pause, leaving you unsure if Luke isn't responding or if he's just forgotten that you're limited to strictly verbal communication right now. Okay, new plan. Luke reappears in the grass with a shimmer, revealing your kneeling form next to him. That was an expensive spell, so you better hope we don't need any important magic the next 30 minutes. Help me up to the window. You let him step on your hands, giving him a boost to fiddle with the latch holding the window closed. After a moment, it swings open. Got it! He readily lifts himself through the window, squatting on the sill for a moment like a goddamn superhero, preventing the kitchen he's sworn to protect, before deftly sliding through. A moment later, his head pokes back into the yard, considering you for a beat. Are you going to help me up? He seems to take great pleasure in rubbing his chin and pretending to consider it. I guess I should, huh? He extends his hands and pulls you up by both arms, your feet scrabbling against the exterior wall. Eventually, after a lot of effort on both of your parts, the two of you are finally standing in the middle of the kitchen. You see anything? Luke quietly lifts up a wooden crate, only to shake his head when he finds nothing under it. No! Let's check over— Ow! Luke grabs his foot in pain, hopping nearby a trapdoor. He belatedly slaps his hand over his mouth. You hear a raised voice come from the foyer. Quick! Into the trapdoor! You wrest the door open and usher Luke into the dark cellar, carefully closing the entrance behind you. Oh. Plenty of wine! You wait in frozen silence for footsteps to storm down the hallway. But they never come. You breathe a sigh of relief. I think we're safe. Come on. You begin to explore the room. In the darkness, you can barely make out the outline of a tall cabinet. As your eyes adjust, you see that the walls are lined with barrels upon barrels of wine. This has to be the place. Look! Luke follows your gaze to a row of upright casks and bottles set apart from the others. A small wooden plate with the words "Toxic, do not touch" written on it hangs in front. Next to the collection is a crate of herbs with long dried stems, clusters of small white flowers on one end and thin yellow roots on the other. How much do you want to bet this is hemlock? Maybe Remus would know. He does plant stuff. You pocket some of the plants to take with you. Take some of these bottles, too! Luke grabs one of the dark bottles by the stem, tossing it towards you with an underhanded throw. You catch it soundly between your paws. Nice catch! You think there's some skeletons in that closet? He points across the room to the large cabinet resting against a wall. Without waiting for an answer, he struts across the way and flings the doors open. Aha! He triumphantly holds up another wine bottle, much like the one you're holding, but when he shakes it back and forth, you hear a slow sloshing sound. Someone has already drunk from this one. Good find. Let's get out of here now! Hang on! With the bottle tucked securely under his armpit, Luke begins methodically tapping and feeling up the inside of the cabinet. What are you doing? Are you looking for something? Yeah! You think there might be a secret compartment in here? It's something that could store an object about 6 inches wide, 11 inches tall, 3 inches thick? Something book-sized. You mean something like that book you're looking for? Bingo! You pick things up real quick. Luke steps back from the cabinet and rubs his chin thoughtfully. Maybe if I... With a running start, Luke leaps at the background with a kick, sending a loud thump that resonates through the cellar. Dust trickles from the ceiling, and you hear voices rise from the foyer again. You nearly jump out of your skin. Well, worth a shot! Let's hope we actually don't need another spell in the next half hour. Luke grabs your hand, turning the both of you invisible as you scurry out of the kitchen. Oh, Lord. After regrouping with and filling in the rest of your party, you agree that it's time to catch your breaths. Cedric informs the group that the closest tavern is by the docks, leading the four of you towards the western edge of town. Oh, pretty. The sun is setting as you arrive, the sky purple and orange against the saltwater bay. The ships are stuck, just like the people, landlocked by orders that no one leave until the mystery of Lord Basia's illness is solved. Ah, the smell of burgeoning merchant capitalism. Our little babies are growing up.
I'm going to get a room.
Cedric is the first to hobble through the tavern door, clutching his side. The door closes behind him. You, Wes, and Luke look at each other. Wes shrugs by lifting his shoulders slightly. Luke shrugs by raising his shoulders, hands and eyebrows all together, mumbling, I don't know. It's been a long day, and you're looking forward to finally resting your aching feet. Your whole body feels sore after your excursions today. See you inside. All things considered, you've adjusted pretty quickly to life out here. You might be tired, aching, and you keep finding leaves in your fur, but it feels good to have a purpose. Inside, Cedric is already exchanging coins with the innkeeper. He's about to head up the stairs when a familiar face flags you down. Over here, boys. Remus is seated in a corner booth, a rolled-up piece of parchment in the seat next to him. He waves at a nearby waiter to order more drinks for the table as you approach. How fares your mission? Mine has gone terribly. Apparently the Void took out a chunk of the frozen peaks this year, completely altered the usual water patterns of the river. Not that it would have mattered, since they apparently built a bridge without my knowledge, even though there's no bridge on the map. Your three companions nod. Luke does it sagely, like he's understood everything, and Cedric does it out of habit. Wes just nods once, politely. What about your task? How goes the investigation of Lord Basia's murder? Well, we know it's not a murder yet. Someone just tried to kill him. We don't even know that yet. How did he die?
Well, he didn't die.
Yeah, poison, most likely. We found this in his cellar. He produced the plants and set them on the table. Remus's eyes widen slightly as he picks up one and examines it gingerly between his two fingers. Ah, hemlock. Yes, that would be very deadly. Who do you suspect did this? Okay, so, maybe his son. That's what I'm wondering. But no, his son isn't the one who's going to be getting anything. It's his sister that is. It's very possible he did it to himself. I'm curious. It might even be Lord Basia himself. His son told us that he was drinking hemlock every night. Perhaps a sort of hair of the dog? Apparently he thought it would make him stronger. An odd family. Could anyone else be responsible? His son, Skye. He didn't seem too concerned about his death. Hypocrisy isn't lost on you, but hey, you're not suspected of murdering your dad. Ah, a classic case of patricide. What drove him to do it? Revenge? Greed? Tired of living under his shadow? Well, the Basias are a rich family. It didn't seem like Skye liked him very much, and he'd probably inherit a lot of the wealth if his father died. Remus nods approvingly. Good. Anyone else? Whole family. It could be the Remorants, a rival merchant family. They're the night of his coma. Plus, they'd have something to gain by eliminating the competition. A strong contender. Anyone else? That's all. Nope, that's it. I see. A very good job, Kieran. I can't help but smile a little at the praise. Also, we found this along with the hemlock. He placed the two bottles on the table and opened one from the cabinet and another one still sealed. Remus scratches his chin as he picks up both bottles, popping off their stoppers one after the other. He alternates the two between his nose, passing them back and forth. Finally, he raises the already opened bottle. This one is poisoned. How? I consider myself a connoisseur of both wine and botany. Thank you very much. So, someone poisoned him last night. Has been poisoning him, more accurately, because this one, he raises the unopened bottle of wine, has hemlock in it as well. So, he's been drinking poison for several days, maybe even longer, but it's only now getting to him? Cedric, after sitting quietly in his seat the whole time, finally speaks up. Maybe it built up over time. He could tolerate it until he couldn't. It's the straw that broke the camel's back. Maybe, but a glass of this stuff would kill most men handily. Remus purses his lips, staring at his reflection in the dark bottle. Cedric slumps back in his seat. Is there anyone else who could have done this? Who would want Lord Basia dead? You rack your brain. His wife wouldn't have much to gain. Wasn't there someone else you saw? There was Lord Basia's daughter, Electra. She was in an arranged marriage she didn't seem too happy about. She had a friend, Alizarin, a Remorant girl. Lady Remorant told us they were close. Maybe she convinced her to betray her father. This girl, short, red hair, pink dress. Yes? Do you know her? Remus points out the window of the tavern towards the docks. Through its frame, you spy a young woman that matches the description, bearing a striking resemblance to her mother. Alizarin glances around the area furtively as she pulls her cloak tighter around her shoulders. You scoot out of your seat, not letting your eyes leave her for a second. We have to talk to her. You dash out of the tavern door and into the street. The sun is setting now, leaving behind a trail of pink as the sky fades into lavender, then indigo. Alizarin! She bolts when she spies you coming after her. You're just fast enough to grab her arm. A week of training has allowed you to outpace a housebound noble in a dress. Great. Oh, wow, she's pretty as hell, damn.
Let go of me.
Alizarin, we need to talk. It's about Lord Basia.
Unhand me, stranger.
She punches you with her free hand, hard, and your head spins with pain. Just wearing jewelry under those gloves, because something hard and sharp connects with your jaw. Your grip loosens just enough for her to wrench her arm free. She's already bolting when you manage to choke out, Electra, you're trying to help her! If you're not right about this hunch, the sound of heels clacking down the dock slows until it comes to a stop.
What? What do you know about us?
Wes and Luke jog up to the two of you now, watching the scene before them warily. She's breathing heavily as she stares you down, dark circles drooping under her eyes. She looks like she's not in the mood to be jerked around. I don't know anything, but I know you wouldn't want Electra to be found guilty of her father's murder. A fire lights behind her eyes, and she looks like she's about to murder you.
Electra's innocent. I was with her the whole night. She couldn't have poisoned him.
What were you doing? You swear she blushes under her red cheeks.
Nothing.
That's not a strong alibi.
That's a pretty bad alibi. Then you better make it a good one.
She brandishes her fist at you again and you flinch. Okay. What about her arranged marriage then? I heard she wasn't happy about that.
She wasn't. Why would anyone be happy with that?
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right here. I wonder if their daughter and their daughter were something of an item. That's what I'm wondering. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks. Your tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.